What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rip City Rundown, and I think it is officially time to have a conversation. A conversation that could have been started in the middle of last year, literally over 12 months ago, but I think it was important to wait until we saw a little bit of this season and then reassess, and I think it might be that time to reassess. We're about 2 months into the second year of Scoot Henderson's career, and I think it's time to have a conversation on if he actually is going to live up to the expectations that were set when he was the third overall pick for the Blazers in the 2023 draft, and not even live up to the expectations of those people, because obviously he came in with generational, dare I say, expectations, and that's probably not going to happen. No shot. Can he even be a quality NBA starter at this point? That's the question we're going to answer today. We're going to look at some of his stats from this year, some of his stats from last year, and then more importantly, go through Basketball Index and kind of see where he stands in comparison to the rest of the NBA. Let's get right into the video. So first thing I'm going to look at, and obviously this is a Blazers channel, I'm going to try my best to not be biased towards Scoot Henderson. And before we get too deep into this video, I want you guys to know where I stand on Scoot Henderson. So I was against drafting Scoot Henderson in the draft because I was in favor of trading that pick and trying to build a winner around Damian Lillard. Now, we can argue and debate on whether we made the right move or not. We may have not made the right draft pick, or we may have not picked a player that actually is going to be as good as Damian Lillard, but we might have sold Damian Lillard at his highest peak. So I'm not going to argue that right now. We might get into it a little bit at the end of the video, but I'm somebody that when it comes to the three Blazer guards, Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, I came into this season assuming that if we had to pick two at the end of this year to keep, I'm in on Simons and I'm in on Scoot. I have been disappointed with Sharpe so far in his career. He doesn't stay healthy, and other than a little 15, 20 game sample size at the end of his rookie year, he really hasn't done what I would say a lot of Blazer fans have said he's done. I think he's been overhyped a little bit. And obviously, Scoot was just coming off his rookie year, so he had a lot of time. And then I think Simons, of those three players, has been the one player that has proved that he can consistently score in the NBA, at the NBA level. Now, sure, he's not a great defender, but none of these three really are. I guess Sharpe is the best out of the three. So this is a guy that wants Scoot to succeed, obviously, and expected Scoot to succeed this year. So just wanted to give that context before we get into it. But Scoot Henderson, we're going to look at raw stats first. So we're going to compare his rookie season to his current season. Obviously, everyone was saying he had a down rookie year. He didn't have a great rookie season, but he still averaged 14 points, 5.4 assists, 3.1 rebounds. The shooting splits were where it was bad, but he shot 38.5 from the field, 32.5 from three. You look at those numbers, you're like, I would love to see better efficiency in his second season. He also only took 3 free throw attempts a game. I'd love to see more of that in his second season. This is a guy that can supposedly, according to the scouts, according to everyone that discussed him, one of the reasons we took him is he's a great facilitator and he can attack the basket and is a great finisher at the rim. So 5.4 assists for a rookie, that's good. I was happy about that. Only 3.3 free throw attempts, not great. Obviously, field goal percentage, not great, because this is a guy that we expect to be a great finisher at the rim. However, rookie season, we've got a lot to improve on in our second year. We've got more talent around us in the second year. We add Avdia, Kamara's into his second year. Simons and Sharpe. Sharpe wasn't healthy to start the year, but Simons has been healthy for majority of the year. Sharpe is back now. Maybe that creates more of a clog, but we're not even going to look at counting stats this year. We want to see his shooting percentage this year. So we're just going to go through every stat. Like I said, counting stats, I'm not even too mad about. He's down from 14 in his rookie year. He's only at 10.7 this year. Not great. He's down in assists. 5.4 last season, 5 this season. Not a big difference. Can't be mad about that. He's down in rebounds, only by 0.3, from 3.1 to 2.8. He's down in minutes. That's not a great thing. You want your third overall pick from just 2 years ago to ideally be starting this year, but there's great talent on this team at the guard position, great young talent. I'm not even mad at him starting. He's only averaging 25.7 minutes. He started 3 games in his 20 games played. This is where we've got a little bit of a problem. Same field goal percentage. We're not seeing a jump at all. He's 38.5 last year. He's 38.8 this year. So Scoot, believers, there's your jump. 0.03%. 0.3%, excuse me. Can't be that happy about that. Here's my problem, though. 3-point percentage down from 32.5% to 27.3%. He's taking one less three a game also. Not great in today's NBA. He's not even making 1 3 a game. He's at 0.9 makes a game. And then this is my other issue. He had 3.3 free throw attempts last year, shooting about 82% from the line last year. He's only attempting 2.8 free throw attempts this year, so down. And honestly, if he's flat, that's not what we want to see. He had a bad rookie year. So if he does the same thing in year 2, that's already bad. The fact that he's even dipped a little bit is even worse. And he's shooting free throws a lot worse this year too. Not a lot worse, but down again to 78%. So when I see a guy that had a bad rookie year and he's not even at least going up a little bit, he's not staying even, he's going down. Even though it's not a lot, he's still going down. That's a bad sign for a guy in his second year. He's only 20 years old. I get that. But age doesn't matter. Experience matters. So the guy that is 24 years old in his 5th year, I'd hope he's better than the 24-year-old in his first year. Just because they're the same age doesn't mean they should be the same player. So 20 is still young, but I would have liked to see some improvement. And then we look just consistently throughout this year. He started off the year pretty well. In October, the 5 games in October, 15.6 points per game, 5.6 assists per game, 44 from the field. That's a jump. 29 from 3. That's a decline. But, we'll take our jumps when we can get it. Obviously, he was fouling a lot. He was turning the ball over a lot. Not great, too. But I wanted to make this video because the last 4 games have just been not great if you're Scoot Henderson. He is averaging in his last 4 games, in his games in December, 6.5 points per game, 3.3 assists, 2.3 rebounds, 23.3% from the field, and 12% from 3 in 22 minutes a game. He is 2 of 16 from 3 in his last 4 games. That is not good basketball from Scoot Henderson. He's fouling a lot. He's not hitting his shots. He's not really playmaking a ton, and he's obviously playing not great defense. He's had 2 fouls in every game except one where he had 4. So tough stuff from Scoot. That's just counting stats, though. Some people can say stats don't tell the whole story. Let's look at what he actually does on the basketball floor. So that's where we're going to get into the advanced stats. We're going to go to B-ball index, and we're going to see how he compares to the rest of the NBA. So we move over to basketball index, and the first thing we're going to look at is his efficiency from the field. So Scoot Henderson, overall shot making efficiency is an F grade, 15 percentile in the NBA. Shot quality, F grade, 15 percentile in the NBA. Points per possession, F grade, 19 percentile in the NBA. He's not an efficient scorer. And this video is not to drag on Scoot. It is just to bring the stats to light, to help Blazer fans understand that he hasn't performed well so far this year, nor was he performing well last year. We hope that can change. This is December 20th. We're technically early in the season, but I'd like to see these things improve soon. So that's category 1, efficiency. Not a good, efficient player. He has Fs practically across the board. We move on. ISO, one-on-one. Scoot Henderson, total isolations per 75 possessions. He's in the 90th percentile. He has an A. Now, that doesn't mean he's good at ISOs. That means he does a lot of one-on-one isolation possessions. He is ISOs more than 9 out of the 10 players in the NBA. His one-on-one shot making is in the 7th percentile F. His one-on-one shot making efficiency, 11th percentile F. So basically, Scoot ISOs a lot, but he sucks at doing it. That's not a good place to be. You at least want to be okay if you're going to ISO all the time, but he's not even good. He's not even remotely good at ISOing right now at this point in the NBA. Mid-range shot creation, he is an 85 percentile, A-. He can create shots from the mid-range, but however, when he shoots it, he's in the 7th percentile, mid-range shot quality, F. Mid-range shot making efficiency, so shot making, D+. 35 percentile. So as you see with his ISOs and with his shot making in one-on-one, he does it a lot. He doesn't do it well. That's a bad spot to be if you are a young guard. So we've got not great efficiency, lots of one-on-ones, lots of ISOs, not good at it. Let's move on. Defense, perimeter defense only. We're not going to talk about interior defense because obviously he's going to be low in comparison to the rest of the NBA, but perimeter defense. So you already get a little bit of a bump because you're not just going up against perimeter players. You're going up against some centers and some power forwards like Rudy Gobert. Obviously, he's a better perimeter defender than Rudy Gobert. But perimeter isolation defense, he's below average, C minus, 40th percentile. That makes sense. He's not a terrible defender. He's an undersized guard, so obviously he's already not going to be a great defender just based on what he was given by God, but he's just not a great defender in the NBA. So obviously we're not even going to look at that and say that's a bad thing because it's just what it is when you got small guards. Ideally, when you have a small guard, they're not great defensively. They're at least maybe average. He's almost average. He's almost in the 50th percentile, but you would hope they're at least good on offense. So we move on. Now we've got horrible efficiency. We've got goes ISO a lot, not good at it. And we've got somewhat below average defender. Those are our three things you're looking at right now. Next, playmaking is what we're going to talk about. Playmaking talent, playmaking creation volume, A minus A. Basically, he playmakes a lot. So he can get to the spots, he can come off the screen, he can get around the defender, and he can be in the position to make a play. He does that a lot. 94th percentile, A grade. He can be in the position to make the pass. However, passing efficiency, passing creation quality, both Fs. So as you're seeing with a theme, he's good at getting to the spots. He's good at creating his shots. He gets a lot of looks one-on-one. He's not good at doing it. However, due to his passing volume, hey, we've got our first A in a real category. Assists, points per 75 possessions. He's in the A, 93rd percentile. That's good. However, I think that's just boosted by the sheer amount of volume because when he's on the floor, he has the ball in his hands a lot. But that one's a little disappointing to see A minus A in terms of amount he does. So high percentile in the amount he creates, the amount of opportunities he gets, but his creation quality and his efficiency is F. Not great. So we got horrible efficiency. Goes ISO despite being not great at it. Below average defender. And the fourth one is makes a lot, but isn't that great at it. That's not great. We move on to finishing. We've already done his kind of efficiency. Finishing, rim shot creation, A plus 97 percentile. He can get to the cup. He can get to the cup and put up the shot. He can do that. However, his quality, so the amount of good shots he takes, he is in the 1 percentile. F grade. He can get to the rim, but he takes bad shots when he gets to the rim. His rim shot making efficiency is a B though. So this might not be a terrible spot for Scoot. He's great at getting to the rim. He unfortunately takes bad shots when he gets there, probably because he hasn't learned how to contort his body, how to hold off defenders. But he's actually making shots pretty well at the rim. So this is a positive. His field goal percentage is a D minus. You don't love to see that. But his finishing talent as a whole is in the A grade, 90th percentile. So he is, I don't really know where to put this one because obviously we got the F and we have the D minus and two pretty important statistics. But overall finishing talent, which kind of encompasses everything, is an A. So I'll give you a check mark, Scoot. Not bad at finishing, and I think you're only going to get better at that. So let's go through the 5 we've got so far. I know I keep doing it. Bad shooter. Bad, horrible efficiency. Goes ISO despite being porous at it. And I mean porous. Play makes a lot. Not great at it. Below average defender. Finishing, we can't really get a read on it, but we'll give you a good grade on it. Finishing. So solid Scoot. Interior defense, we're skipping because obviously he's an F, because why would I expect him to be good at that? But I don't expect any guard to be good at that, so it's fine. Perimeter shooting. This is one of the final ones before we encompass everything in terms of player impact. So we got perimeter shooting. His three-point shot creation, 84th percentile A minus. Again, he's good at creating the looks. Maybe this is a good theme to have. He's doing good at creation. However, three-point shot making efficiency, 5 percentile, F. And that's on A, 91st percentile shot quality. He has some of the best quality shots in the NBA. He gets some of the best looks in the NBA, and he is still one of the worst shooters in the NBA. That is a terrible, terrible combination. That tells me he is literally one of the worst shooters in the NBA. Because it's not like he's taking tough shots and not hitting. He's taking easy shots, and he's not hitting. That's not great. We'll move on because I'm starting to feel like you can understand the theme of where he hasn't been good this year. Overall player impact, Basketball Index uses something called a LeBron. So overall WAR, he's a D plus, 35th percentile. Offensively, he's a D, 30th percentile. Defensively, he's an F, 9 percentile. So back to overall just straight up offensive defense, 6th percentile F. Scoot Henderson has not been great this year. And unfortunately, it's time to have a conversation because not only do the counting stats say it, not only does the eye test say it, the advanced stats say it too. He's not been great this year. So obviously it's a second year though, so you can give him more time. You can give him more leeway. He's young. He's only 20. He's a young second-year player too. But I think if we had to pick between the 3 guards right now, Simon, Sharp, Scoot, if we had to pick by the end of the year, Scoot's gone. Like, I don't think you can sit around and wait a third year if you had to choose between the 3. And based on what you've seen so far, expect something crazy to happen in year 3, year 4, year 5. Like 2 years is a lot. I think year 3 is the breaking point. I think if we see this continuously through the first half, second half of year 3, that's where you're like, oh, we're cooked. This is done. But I think you're starting to get there because we're halfway through year 2. Not halfway. We're 1/4, 1/3 of the way through year 2, and it's not looking great so far. It begs the question, should we have done the Dame trade? Should we have even drafted him? I feel like, maybe if I go back and look for some clips, I feel like I was saying not smart to take a small guard because not only can this guy not shoot, but he's small. And you've had this with Dame. You've had small guard bad defenders in Damian Lillard in the past, and he's not led to a championship. So what makes you think Scoot's going to lead you to a championship? Because that was the conversation we were getting out of Blazer fans at that time. They were like, we just got to reset the timeline. We'll win a championship with Scoot. Again, we're so early in this, so like I'm not even going to do all that, but I just thought it was important to bring up the stats because I have been watching Scoot recently the last couple games. Hasn't been good to the eye test, so I went into the advanced stats, and what I found was quite shocking. The amount of success he has in creating stuff and getting the open looks and being provided the open looks and getting in the spots to make good plays. And the fact that he is so bad at making those plays and making those shots is alarming. So that's all I got today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about Scoot. Let me know if you want to see more in-depth than other players, Sharp, Simons, Abdia, things of that nature. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.